quite sure when the road began, or whether it's been ending over and over again while you sleep behind your own eyes. But there's the hum again, faint and laced through the windows, as if someone had sewn static into the weather. Rain tickles the windshield in slow upward drips, though the wipers rest untouched and your hands remain somewhere off the wheel, fingers drifting through the warm fog curling between the air vents. It smells like old cassette tapes and Motel shampoo, and maybe a little like the voice of your grandmother humming a nursery rhyme that doesn't end, only loops. You hear her in the left speaker sometimes when you aren't looking too closely at the road. But you're not looking now, are you? The fog is thicker tonight, or maybe you've just forgotten what headlights are supposed to show. You can't tell whether you're still moving or whether the road is moving you. Somewhere in the dashboard, the clock flickers. 3:33 a.m. But it always does. Outside, shadows hover where trees used to be. Tall, unsure shapes leaning forward as if listening. One of them might be waving. One of them might be your reflection. It doesn't matter. Nothing leans unless it wants to fall. The rearview mirror vibrates softly. No sound, just shimmer. And you realize it isn't showing what's behind you anymore. Instead, a hallway. Faint wallpaper roses climbing like veins. A flickering fluorescent hum. That smell again. Burned toast and talcum powder. There is no hallway. You're in a car. Unless you never left the room. Your breath fogs the inside of the mirror. Impossible. And words etch into the steam. Backward and slow. Welcome to Whispers Beyond Midnight. You blink. The steam is gone. The mirror cracks a little. You don't remember blinking. A soft crinkle in the passenger seat pulls your eyes sideways. A photograph. No. A Polaroid. You didn't put it there. You pick it up slowly, one fingertip at a time. The static rising behind your teeth as your thumb smudges something that isn't quite a face. A room you've never seen. Wallpaper roses. And a door that looks too narrow for anyone but you. Behind the photo, you feel the seat buckle shift, like someone's weight is settling into it. But it's still empty, isn't it? The glove box pops open. You didn't touch it. Inside, nothing but a single glove. Left hand only. Wool, stitched in a blue you remember from a snow globe memory, though you've never owned a snow globe. You reach for the glove. Cold inside, warm out. Like something had just removed its hand. The air grows thick, syruped with a scent you can't name, and something begins humming behind your jaw. No melody, just a pulse, like a voice preparing to speak, but not using your language. The radio flickers on by itself. You know better than to touch it. Static. Then a voice. Yours. But not your voice now. Younger. Terrified. I don't want to open it, you whisper through the speakers. The photo in your hand darkens. The door in the picture now has something beneath it. A shadow that isn't still. You're driving again. Were you ever parked? The steering wheel is damp. You don't remember sweating. The fog clears just enough for a road sign to emerge from the grey. Check mirror before you arrive. It blinks once, then is swallowed again. You don't remember passing it. You adjust the mirror, though you know better. There you are, eyes hollow, mouth moving, but no sound, just static. Behind your reflection, the back seat. Someone's there. You don't turn around. The road curves sharply. You don't steer. The glove is gone now. The photo curls in your hand, warm and breathing. You don't open the window, but the wind begins to whisper in anyway, carrying a name you've been trying not to remember. It's yours, but said with someone else's voice. The engine ticks. 3:33 a.m. You passed that same mailbox 5 minutes ago, but it's rusted differently now. You don't live here anymore, but maybe you never left. The mirror fogs again. You see writing. They're not just voices. You close your eyes. Darkness. You open them. Mirror clean. Passenger seat empty. Radio off. Clock. 3:33 a.m. And now you hear something from the glove box. Not a voice. A breath. Inward. Waiting. You're already mid-breath when it happens again. Somewhere between a blink and a remembering. The fog parts in threads, delicate as gauze, revealing not distance but closeness. The closeness of something that sees you, not with eyes, not with understanding, but with memory. And that's worse. The road hasn't turned, but your body has. Slight lean to the left, the way you always did in the back seat of your father's car, when he made late-night turns into places you never revisited. You remember that, don't you? The hum of the engine, the radio barely loud enough to bleed meaning, the feeling of being seen through the rearview mirror, but not by him. You glance at the mirror again now. There is fog inside it, not condensation. Fog, moving, breathing. A fingertip, pale and unsure, presses gently against the inside of the glass. From the other side. You look away. You shouldn't have looked at all. The radio flutters on again, this time gently. A sigh, a chord, then a voice speaking. Not your name, not quite, but something adjacent. A name that sits beside your own, like a twin you never knew you lost. Its vowels taste like moths and piano strings. You turn the volume down. It gets louder. You twist the knob again. Only then do you notice the radio has no knob. The fog thickens in pulses like breath against your neck. It no longer obscures. It reveals in flashes. Telephone poles that lean too far forward. A mailbox with your mother's handwriting etched in rust. A stop sign that says, wait. You do. You don't remember stopping. Your hands ache. Not from gripping the wheel, but from holding something. Or trying not to. In your lap, a folded paper, thin, yellowed. You don't remember picking it up. Your name, almost. But the handwriting shifts the more you stare. It's a letter. The date is 3 years from now. The first line, I hope this finds me before I disappear. You let it unfold. Inside, a photograph you didn't print. The same motel room as before. This time the door is open, and in the doorway, something standing just outside the frame. Barely there, but smiling. You close the letter. It's gone. Your lap is empty. The car is moving. Clock 3:33 a.m. Again, always, a light ahead, flickering yellow. You ease toward it, though you don't feel your foot on the gas. It's a motel. The same one, but not quite. You don't remember exiting the highway, but here you are. Gravel beneath tires, crunching too loudly, like bones trying to sing. A neon vacancy sign hums above you. You open the car door. Fog rolls out from under the seat. You step into it. The ground isn't gravel anymore. It's carpet, familiar, like the hallway, like The office door creaks open by itself. Inside, a bell dings, but there's no one at the desk. A flashlight sits on the counter, flickering, inward. You pick it up, it breathes in your hand. A key rests beside it. Room 3. You didn't speak, but the door behind the desk opens anyway. You walk through. The hallway curves left, then left again. The lights hum in Morse code. You understand none of it, but your feet do. Room 3 is waiting. The door is cracked open just enough to let you see part of the mirror on the opposite wall. It's angled, deliberately. It's showing you the back of the door, and someone standing behind it. You push it open slowly. No one there. Room empty. Except the mirror. You're already in it, staring, not blinking. The version of you inside lifts a finger, taps the glass. 1, 2, 3 times. You don't move. You don't breathe. The mirror fogs. Words etch again. We're still listening. You whisper, to who? But no one answers, except the static. Behind you, the door clicks shut. You didn't touch it. The knob is warm. Your breath fogs the room. The flashlight pulses softly. The carpet beneath your feet dampens. Rain? No. Blood? No. Memory. You remember this. This room, from the photo, from the voice. You sit on the bed, slowly. It sighs, not from weight, from recognition. A drawer slides open in the nightstand, empty, except for a snow globe. Inside, a car, on a road, surrounded by fog. You shake it. Nothing moves, except the fog inside the globe. It reaches towards the edges, like it's trying to escape. You set it down, but the glass is warm, too warm. It pulses once, then stops, and from the hallway, you hear it again. That voice, yours, but not, whispering something about the mirror, the door, the road. The voice says, they're not just voices, They remember you too. You don't remember falling asleep on the bed. You don't remember closing your eyes. But when you open them, the room is breathing around you, walls shuddering just slightly, as if holding their breath between your heartbeats. You sit up. It's darker now, not night dark, but dream dark. The kind of dark that lives behind closed eyelids. Waiting. Your body feels as though it has weight in the wrong places. A gravity pulling not downward, but inward. Somewhere between your ribs. The suitcase is already at the foot of the bed. You don't remember seeing it before. Brown leather, aged and waxed with time. Brass corners dulled with the pressure of too many rooms. A luggage tag dangles from the handle, scrawled in ink that looks like your handwriting but isn't. You lean closer. It says, "Don't open until you remember." Your hands tremble, not from fear, but from familiarity. You've touched this before, in another motel, another life, another version of this moment. You press a finger against the clasp. It clicks before you touch it. The lid opens slowly, exhaling a cold you haven't felt since the day your grandmother died. Lavender and dust, the scent of curtains pulled too tightly shut. Inside, a single wool scarf, blue, the same hue as the glove, folded precisely as if by hands that had always known where it belonged. Underneath, an envelope, unmarked. You lift it. It hums slightly. You open it. Inside is a photo. You again, but not here. Not in this motel. Somewhere colder. A hillside. Fog curling along the edges of your coat. Your expression unreadable, mid-blink, mouth parted slightly, as if whispering something just as the shutter clicked. On the back, one word written in trembling ink. Remember. The suitcase shifts. There's more. Beneath the lining, stitched tightly but unevenly, you see it. Another object pressing outward from within. You slip your fingers under the seam. The thread undoes itself. You didn't tug, just touched. The lining folds back like paper, and you see it. A clock. Not a full one, just the face. Glass cracked, the hands bent into one another like a kiss. And still, ticking. 3:33. You turn it over, etched in the back in tiny cursive. We kept this time for you. The suitcase snaps shut, loud, like a voice saying, enough. You stumble backward, breath catching, and the light overhead flickers once, twice, then steadies. The same dull hum returns. The same rhythm you've been hearing in your chest since the road curved behind you. You sit again, but the bed isn't the same. It's lower, softer. The sheets are damp, not wet, but humid, like breath has soaked through the threads. On the pillow now, a cassette tape. You reach for it. It's warm. The label says nothing, just a line of static scratched into the surface. You look to the nightstand. There's no cassette player, but the static starts anyway. You look toward the mirror. It's no longer reflecting the room. It shows a road. Your car. Empty. Driver's door open. Fog pouring inward like smoke. A voice comes from the tape. Yours. But it isn't speaking. It's breathing. Outward. Slow. Rhythmic. You can feel it inside your own breath now. Sinking. 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 Until it stops. And the room exhales without you. You blink. The suitcase is gone. The cassette is gone. You're standing in the hallway. No memory of rising. Door 4 is ahead. You were in 3. You didn't move. But the carpet under your feet has changed. It's darker. Soggy. Footprints lead ahead. Bare. Wet. Yours? You follow them, step for step, until you reach the door. It's slightly ajar. Inside, a mirror. The same room. Again. But the bed is empty, and the clock on the nightstand reads 3:33. The same bent hands. The suitcase, back at the foot. Closed. No tag. No memory. You shut the door. It locks itself. A whisper behind you. They are not just voices. They're versions. You turn. No one there, but the hallway breathes in. And something shifts beneath the carpet. A low pulse, like footsteps preparing to be taken again. You stare at the ceiling long enough for it to begin moving. Not dripping, not cracking, just gently exhaling vapor trails that curl like vines made of fog. The rain begins somewhere far above you, but you never hear it hit the roof. Instead, it appears mid-air and drifts upward in slow reversal, bead by bead, ascending into the plaster, as though memory itself had become weightless. You blink. A drop floats past your cheek, leaves behind the scent of rusted iron and turned soil. It shouldn't smell like that, but you know why it does. The rain isn't water. It's a forgetting. Each droplet pulls something out of you as it rises. The sound of a door closing. The name of a friend you can't picture anymore. The colour of your first car. The exact voice of someone who once said your name like a secret. You try to speak. Only fog comes out. The bed shudders beneath you. You don't remember lying down. You feel a weight beside you, shifting gently under the covers. A second body, curled inward, breathing in perfect rhythm, with the ticking of the clock you can't see. You dare not look. The shape hums softly. A lullaby. The same tune the radio whispered 3 rooms ago. The one your grandmother sang. But her voice is deeper now, submerged. Like she's humming from inside a lake. You reach toward the shape. The bed is empty. Still warm. Still indented. You rise. The light bulb overhead flickers in slow patterns. Not on-off, but dim, bright, dim, bright, like a Morse code for the blind. You whisper, Who's there? The ceiling drips upward. A drop hits your palm, then lifts away before you can close your fingers. It carries a dream, yours. You see it as it floats, a snowy road, your child self walking barefoot, holding a red balloon shaped like a house. In the distance, a motel sign blinking in a language you don't know but still understand. The balloon pops. The drop disappears. Your palm is empty. So is the room. Except for the closet. It creaks. You step forward. Slowly. The closet door is ajar, just enough to reflect a sliver of mirror down the hallway in its brass doorknob. You lean close. Your reflection doesn't. It waits, patiently. A shadow moves inside. You open the closet. Nothing there, but the smell of winter rushes out. And inside, hanging alone, a coat. Your coat, but older, mildewed. And in the pocket, a matchbox. You strike one. The room doesn't light up. The flame burns blue. You hold it close to the wall. Writing appears in smoke. Checkout was at 3:33. The match dies. The door to the hallway creaks open. You didn't touch it. From outside, the sound of rain. But it's not falling. It's climbing the windows, streaking upward in loops and spirals, tracing messages in long-forgotten alphabets only visible from the corner of your eye. You follow it. The hallway is longer than before, or shorter. It shifts behind you. The carpet pulses with breath. Each door is slightly ajar now. Behind them, you hear things. Not voices. Not exactly. More like whispers carried through pillows. The soft hush of things trying not to be heard, but needing to speak anyway. You pause at room 7. Its number is scratched. It smells like wet leaves and ozone. You open it. A flashlight sits on the bed, pointing inward. Its beam doesn't light the wall. It lights a corner in your mind. You see your own childhood room. A clock. A photograph on the wall. You, asleep. But the you in the photo is older than the child should be. The photo twitches. You drop the flashlight. It stays on, breathing. From the corner of the bed, a suitcase opens slowly. Inside, water. Just water. And at the bottom, your face. Eyes open, mouth whispering. You lean in to hear it. The water fogs over. And from inside the mirror, above the headboard, a message etches itself slowly, trembling like a heartbeat written in frost. The voices aren't just heard, they remember. You step back, the flashlight flickers once, twice, goes out, and behind you, a door closes, softly, too softly. You weren't alone, not anymore. You move toward the window, but it isn't there, where it used to be. Only wallpaper, roses curled like question marks, thorns unraveling as if they never intended to protect. The upward rain has stopped, but the glass of the picture frame on the wall breathes faintly. Slow pulses of condensation fading before they can bead. It reflects, just barely, the shape of a hallway that no longer exists. Your own face doesn't appear in the glass, just the back of your head. You turn. There's no one behind you. But the mirror insists otherwise. It hangs on the opposite wall, oblong and warping, a funhouse oval that dips in the middle like it's been weeping for years. You approach slowly, not because you're afraid, but because part of you knows what's waiting and wants to delay the confession. The face inside the mirror smiles before you do. It doesn't blink when you blink. Its hand raises before yours. It moves first, and then it speaks, but not with a voice. It thinks at you, a feeling braided out of breath and memory. You've come back differently this time. You speak aloud. Come back from where? Your mouth moves in the mirror, but the sound belongs to someone else. Someone who once wore your name and left it in a drawer beside a flashlight and a melted cassette. The mirror flickers. Inside it now, the motel hallway. The lights swing slightly. Doors opening, not with hinges, but with breathing. You lean closer. The reflection zooms without movement, pulling you into the mirror until you're staring down the length of the corridor, but now from within. You see your room. You see yourself, sitting on the bed, but you're still standing, a paradox folding gently into itself. The you in the mirror tilts their head, as if listening to a song playing underwater. Then it whispers, but not with lips. The message enters behind your eyes. They remember you when you don't remember you. You turn away, but the mirror turns with you. You turn again. It's still in front of you. The room has rotated, gently, quietly. You're no longer sure where the bed is or where the door was. Only the mirror remains, suspended now in fog. Inside it, a new scene. A road. Your car, parked on the shoulder, hazard lights blinking. The shape in the driver's seat is foggy, human-shaped, but too still. Its head turns slightly toward the mirror, towards you, and the mirror breathes against your cheek. You raise your hand to wipe it. The glass is gone, only fog now. You step through it, and the room resets. Bed made, flashlight off, closet door open, and on the nightstand, a note, folded neatly, thin paper, damp. You unfold it slowly, hands trembling, not from fear, but from déjà vu. The note says, "We lie to you gently, only as much as you ask. Every mirror is a kindness. Below it, a drawing, a symbol, rough sketch of a snow globe, with a voice etched inside. Not a mouth, just vibration. You feel it under your fingers now. The hum. The mirror still isn't behind you, but its voice remains in your breath. You inhale. It finishes your sentence. The walls pulse once. Behind the picture frame, something shifts. You step closer, lift it off the nail. The wall behind is soft. Fabric, you pull. It tears like skin. Behind it, a tunnel, narrow, crawling with fog. No noise, no breath. You drop to your knees and begin to crawl. The mirror watches you leave. From nowhere, a voice. You aren't following the road. The road is following you. And behind your ears, the tick of a clock. 3:33, always. The crawl space breathes around you. Not loud, not gasping, just steady. Like the inside of a throat. Fog curling at the edges. Condensation forming on the backs of your hands as you move forward inch by inch. The walls of the tunnel aren't walls. They're memory. Felt fabric. Motel wallpaper. The smell of lavender and ash. Behind you, the opening has vanished. Ahead, something glows faintly red, like the coil of a stove burner that's forgotten how to cool. You emerge into a room, not yours, but familiar. Shaped like a room you once dreamt inside a fever. Sloped ceiling, wallpaper that hums if you stare long enough. No windows, one lamp, a chair, but not facing you. And beneath the chair, carpet, patterned in spirals that seem to rotate even when you don't move. The sound comes from under it, tick, 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 but not evenly, not patiently. It stutters, sometimes doubles, sometimes reverses. You step toward the chair, the spiral shifts, the floor grows soft. You kneel, brush back the corner of the carpet. Beneath it, wood, dark and worn. And there, centered exactly, an outline, a small square, a hatch. Your fingers hesitate, then press. It lifts without sound. Beneath, a cavity just wide enough to fit a box. Inside the box, a clock, old, cracked face, one hand missing, the other twisted gently toward your reflection. It shouldn't reflect, it does. You see yourself. Eyes hollow, lips parted, mouthing something, but the voice that rises isn't yours. It whispers, don't remember too quickly. You'll break the loop. You look away, close the hatch. The ticking stops, but the sound continues. Behind the walls now, inside the chair, from the spirals on the carpet you stand. The room feels smaller. The corners draw inward like sleep curling a body into dream. The light flickers, a different rhythm, faster, Morse. You try to decipher it, but the words it spells aren't in any alphabet you remember. Just feelings, smells, a photograph of a breath that never ended. You turn the chair around. No one there, but the seat is warm. Indentation shaped exactly like your posture. A folded note rests beneath the cushion. You unfold it. A name, yours. Misspelled. Just slightly, enough to make you question how many times you've worn it. There's something beneath the note. A key. engraved with the shape of a snowflake. Not a number, not a letter, just the shape of remembering something that never happened. You pocket it. The room shivers. You look up. A new door now. Round knob. Brass. You touch it and feel your pulse slow. Not fear. Not calm. Recognition. You open the door. Step through. Into another hallway. This one hums with overhead lights strung too close together, casting shadowless glows that buzz louder the farther you walk. On either side, doors blink open and shut. Flashes of scenes. A child counting fingers in the mirror. But each time the number grows. A road unspooling from a suitcase. A motel clerk without a face, ringing a bell that echoes before it sounds. You don't stop walking until the end of the hallway, where the carpet fades into glass. A mirror floor, and beneath it, another hallway. Identical, but empty. No lights, just fog. You kneel, press your palm to the glass. It's warm. Then, beneath your hand, a word appears. Soon. You whisper, soon what? And your voice echoes upward, not down. From the ceiling above, another whisper. Soon, remember. The floor beneath you ripples. Once, then calms. You blink. Now you're standing again. Back in the first hallway. Or is it? You look down. The carpet pulses. The clock beneath it ticks again. But this time, it counts forward, then backward, then still. The key in your pocket vibrates, faintly. You don't take it out. Not yet. Somewhere nearby, a voice that sounds like your breath says, under the carpet, everything waits. You exhale, and the hallway folds away behind you. The hallway narrows behind you, as if it were ashamed to have ever been wide. Your footsteps feel slower now, not because you've slowed, but because the air thickens with each step, denser, warmer, curled with something like breath, but deeper, quieter, deliberate. You pass a vent in the wall. It hisses softly. Not air, not static, but syllables. Soft round words that form not in your ears, but just behind them, echoing along the scalp like fingers brushing bone. You stop. The vent hisses again, closer this time, like someone speaking with their lips pressed to the other side. Your name, almost, but too slow, too drawn out. You lean in, press your ear to the slats. The metal is cold, then warm, then pulsing. Inside, you hear breathing, then not breathing. A lullaby loops in fragments. Hush, now hush. The door will knock. Then static. You pull away. Your ear rings with something you didn't hear. The hallway flickers. Just once. Long enough for the carpet to momentarily vanish. Beneath it, wooden slats covered in tiny black symbols that squirm before your vision reasserts reality. A door opens. room 12. You didn't touch it. Inside, dimness, stagnant air, a ceiling fan spinning the wrong direction. You step in. The vent is on the far wall. It breathes louder here. No wind, no draft. Just the sound of air trying to shape itself into sentences. There's a chair beneath it. You sit. Because of course you do. The voice inside the vent starts again. This time it's counting. Backward. From 10. But the numbers aren't all numbers. Some are colours. Some are sounds. 10. Blue. Shatter. 7. Glass. 4. Hush. You whisper. What are you counting down to? The voice stops, then breathes in. You feel it enter your mouth before your lungs. A word forms, not in English, but you know it means open. The floor creaks. You look down. A small panel has slid open beneath your feet. Inside, a recorder. Red light blinking. Already playing. You kneel. Pick it up. Press rewind. It won't stop. It keeps rewinding. Spooling backward past memory, past voice, past the fabric of the tape itself, until all that's left is a sound like thunder in reverse. Then it stops, plays on its own. The voice is yours, speaking calmly, measured. You're already here. You've always been here. The vents never lie, but they don't tell the truth either. Click. The tape ends. The vent breathes again, now louder. The grate begins to unscrew itself, one tiny bolt at a time, rotating with slow surgical precision. You stand, step back. The vent pops loose, falls silently. Something stirs inside the duct. Too quiet to be footsteps. Too smooth to be breath. It slides forward. A suitcase. Small, child-sized. It lands at your feet with a soft thud. A tag dangles. It says, "Your first dream." You kneel. Unlatch it. It opens on its own. Inside, cassette tapes. Dozens. All labelled in your handwriting. Each one dated. Some in years you haven't lived yet. Some in alphabets that don't exist. You pick one up. August 3rd. I spoke to the mirror. You pocket it. Another catches your eye. December. They stopped answering. You drop it. It hisses when it lands. The voice in the vent begins to laugh. But it's not laughter. It's rewind played forward. The light flickers. Once. Twice. You look up. The ceiling fan stops mid-spin. The vent retracts inward. Slams shut. The suitcase vanishes. You're holding the recorder again. Its red light is blinking. You press play. This time, silence. Not empty silence, but pregnant. like a voice you're about to remember. And as you listen, a new whisper curls behind your ear. We left you messages in the air. You were always meant to find them. The light bulb bursts. Darkness. The darkness isn't total. It breathes. Faint outlines pulse in and out of view. The frame of the vent still warm against the wall. The dust in the air glittering where it shouldn't be visible. And the corner of something square on the floor. A photo. Not a recent one. Not even aged. Just suspended. Like it always existed. And you finally caught up to it. You kneel, fingers shaking before they touch it, as if the paper might bleed. The moment your skin grazes it, the air changes. Like memory had been vacuum sealed and is now leaking around you in hushed gasps. The photo is grainy, fog around the edges, yellowed, even though the colour palette suggests black and white. A room, familiar and impossible. Wallpaper of weeping ivy, a high-backed chair that you remember breaking when you were 11. A flashlight balanced perfectly on its arm, lit, but not outward, inward. The beam curls toward the centre of the image, pointing not at the chair, not at the floor, but at a person. You. Maybe. Not now you, not child you, but some between. Eyes closed, mouth open, kneeling on the floor with hands pressed flat to the carpet, like listening. You look closer. The photo blurs, then sharpens again. Now, there's another figure. Behind the chair, just fingers, wrapped around the top. You blink. The fingers are gone. You turn the photo over. Your name is written there once again, slightly altered, just enough to feel uncanny. But this time, something else beneath it. Room 19 remembers. Ask it why. The air around you hums in response, like a question was asked somewhere far away and echoed through the wiring in the walls. You stand, still holding the photo. The lights flicker back to life in a different rhythm. Slow, slow. Pause. Fast, fast, fast. The Morse again. You don't try to decipher it now. You've started to understand without translation. You step into the hallway. Different again. The carpet pattern shifts underfoot. Spirals now tightening in knots instead of unraveling. Room 19 is down the hall, farther than it should be. You pass room 15, its door is open just a sliver. Inside, music, piano, slightly out of tune. A lullaby, your grandmother's again, but slower this time, almost angry. You keep walking. Room 17, door shut, mirror nailed to the outside of it, covered in condensation. You move on. Room 19. The number is carved rather than printed. Carved deep, like a warning. You hesitate. Press your ear to the door. Nothing. Then, like a breath catching behind drywall, a voice, not speaking, humming, the same lullaby, reversed. You press the handle. It's warm. The door creaks open. Inside. Empty room. Carpet identical to the others, except for the photo on the bed. Same one. Exactly. Still warm, as if it had just been printed. You step inside, pick up the photo. Now, the you in the image is looking directly at the lens. Eyes open, mouth closed, still kneeling. The flashlight's beam now points at the camera, at you. Behind you, the door clicks shut. You spin, the knob vanishes. Gone. Replaced by mirror, large, seamless, occupying the entire surface of the door now. You approach it. Inside, you see yourself, but not standing, kneeling, hands flat, mouth opening. You try to back away. Your feet stick. Carpet clinging, thickening. You drop the photo. It floats, doesn't fall, just drifts like fog and then melts into the air. Behind you now, the hum of static. A new sound. The flutter of Polaroids falling. One by one, they drop from the ceiling like snow. Each one, a frame from some moments of your life you never lived. You at a train station with no name. You sleeping in a bathtub, surrounded by radios. You staring into a flashlight as it flickers inward. You whisper, "What is this?" And the mirror answers by fogging over. The words appear slowly. This is how the voices remember you. You reach out, touch the fog. It pulls back, revealing the photo again, now animated. You blink, so does it. You're still staring into the mirror, but the reflection no longer waits for you. It begins to move, slowly, deliberately, while you remain still. The version of you inside kneels, then stands, then walks away, until only the room remains in the silver haze. You blink, and now the mirror shows a road. Your car again, parked crooked along a shoulder that doesn't exist on any real map. The headlights flicker once, then dim, then shine upward into fog. The fog doesn't move. It thickens, and you begin to feel the sensation you only ever feel in dreams. When you drive somewhere familiar, only to find the road has changed while your eyes were closed. You step back from the mirror. It doesn't follow. You blink again. And now the floor is pavement. Double yellow lines stretching forward and backward and upward into sky. You're standing on the road, your bare feet cold against the cracked tar. No sound, no wind, only the pulse of your own blood and the distant ticking of a dashboard clock. 3:33. Always, you look around, fog in all directions, but the road is solid, familiar, wrong. You close your eyes. The ground shifts, tilts. You fall forward, but only in concept. Your body remains upright while your weight sinks downward, as if the asphalt beneath you had lost confidence in gravity and decided to dissolve inward instead. You open your eyes. The road is water now, rippling upward in slow motion, lifting you in reverse. The sky is a mirror, and you're reflected in every direction, falling, rising, suspended. A voice speaks from underneath the tar. Don't blink so often. The road forgets where you were. You try to speak. Your mouth fills with fog. Your tongue knows the taste. Motel soap and burnt photographs. You swallow. Step forward. The water ripples back into asphalt. A mile marker rises from the mist, but the number isn't right. Miles to go. You approach it, touch the metal. It hums. Beneath your fingers, words begin to etch. You were here when this was written. You let go. And now you're holding something cold, square. A cassette. No label, just grooves. You blink again. You're seated in the driver's seat of the car. Engine idling, hands on the wheel, but you never climbed in. The headlights shine forward into a tunnel of grey. Rain drizzles upward across the windshield. A voice on the radio whispers, "This road knows your weight." It has memorized your indecision. The steering wheel pulses beneath your palms. You try to let go. Your fingers don't obey. The glove box opens. A new cassette. This one labelled Repeat 9. You insert it. Static. Then a voice. Yours. Don't fall asleep with your foot on the gas. The road sinks. The mirror shows nothing. Not even you. The seat beside you creaks. You look. Empty, but warm. A single thread lies coiled on the cushion. Red. Like from a sweater you remember wearing in childhood, one you swore you buried under your grandmother's bed. You pick it up. It coils tighter, then slithers upward between your fingers like it's alive. You let go. It floats, disappears into the ceiling. The car doesn't move. The road does. Everything outside the window begins scrolling backward, like the world forgot how to progress. The radio clicks again. Same voice, now louder. You closed your eyes again, didn't you? You snap them open. The rear view mirror now shows the road behind you, sinking, like it's folding into itself, disappearing beneath black water, bubbling with fog. The sky turns inward. You pull the wheel. Nothing happens. You're not driving anymore. You never were. The dashboard hums with a rhythm you can't decipher. You turn your head. There's a passenger now, but only in silhouette. Featureless, but breathing. You whisper, "Where are we going?" It answers with your voice. Back, but deeper. The silhouette in the passenger seat is no longer breathing. Or perhaps it never was. Just a shape made of fog and old memory, stitched loosely together by the whisper of upholstery and static. You blink, and it's gone. The seat, however, still carries the weight, just enough to wrinkle the fabric, to bend the foam in familiar curves. You don't remember anyone sitting there, but something had to. The glove box remains open. You lean toward it. Inside, 2 gloves now, not one. Wool, blue. threadbare at the fingertips, like they've been worn down by holding on to things too long. You reach in, touch them. They're still warm. One of them smells like gasoline and rain, the other like mothballs and lavender. You pull them out, hold them in your lap. A folded paper falls from between them. You don't remember seeing it before. Your name is written on it, but not in your handwriting, not in any human handwriting, just soft curves, like vines curling through alphabet. You unfold it slowly. Inside, a question. If you aren't the one driving, who is? The words vibrate on the page. The ink lifts slightly, like raised scars. The rear-view mirror flickers. You glance at it. Your face is missing. In its place, the dashboard, reflected from behind you. But wrong. It's not your car. It's the same model, the same buttons, the same knobs. But they are off, rotated the wrong way, labels written backward. The cassette slot now says, insert memory. You blink, the gloves move, slightly. One rolls onto the floor mat, you lean to retrieve it, and hear something, a breath, from behind you, back seat. But there's no sound when you turn, just cold, as if a window were open. You glance over your shoulder, it isn't, but there's moisture on the inside of the glass. A single word, written in condensation, gloved. You whisper, what does that mean? The radio crackles, and a voice answers, yours, but older, tired, gentler. It means you gave permission. The cassette slot ejects something you didn't insert. It clatters onto the floor. You pick it up. Label reads, Loop 1, Passenger. You slide it in. It begins, static. Then a voice, a child's voice, yours. I let them in. They needed warmth. I gave them my hands. Then silence. Then a soft clicking, like fingers drumming against glass. You glance to your right. The passenger seat is empty again. But the gloves are gone. No trace. You put your own hands on the steering wheel. But something's wrong. They're not your hands. The skin is unfamiliar. The shape, too narrow. The left pinky crooked in a way you've never seen before. You try to move them. They move first, gripping the wheel tighter. The engine purrs. You aren't accelerating, but the car moves forward, into fog, into night. The windshield begins to bleed fog from the inside. A pattern forms, winding script, not language but rhythm, like a lullaby in cursive. You wipe the glass. It fogs again instantly. The words return. You give up. Watch the road disappear under your headlights. Only it doesn't feel like a road anymore. Just a ribbon, unspooling, a loop. You know this curve, this tree, this sound. You've passed them before. The cassette hisses. Voice returns. Don't worry. The gloves only borrow. You'll feel normal again by morning. You whisper, "Who's speaking?" The dashboard clock flickers. 3:33, then fades. Now, only dashes. As if time has gone missing, outside the window, the same motel. Again, different room, same vacancy sign, still blinking, still humming. You park, not on purpose, the car does it for you. The seatbelt unclasps, your hand moves first, you open the door, step out into air that's thicker than memory, and behind you, on the driver's seat, a new pair of gloves, still warm, still waiting. The motel lot hums beneath your feet. Not the fluorescent buzz you expect, but something deeper, like a memory purring through cement. Alive, but still deciding whether to wake. The air smells of flickering neon and rain that hasn't fallen yet. You walk toward the door marked 14. Not because you recognize it, but because your hands are already reaching for the key that wasn't there a moment ago. In your palm, brass, shaped like an eye, cold despite your skin's insistence otherwise. The number on the door isn't painted. It's stitched. Dark thread sewn into the wood in looping cursive. You unlock the door. It swings open silently. The room is dark, darker than a room should be, as if light never lived here at all. You fumble along the wall for a switch, but your fingers find a flashlight instead. It sits on the nightstand like it's been waiting for you, lens tilted slightly downward, beam off. But humming. You lift it. It exhales as your hand wraps around the grip. The switch is old, rubber, flicked easily. But when the light turns on, it doesn't cast forward. It turns inward, into the bulb, into your palm. A glow that spreads not across the room, but up your arm, through your shoulder, behind your eyes. Your vision warps. No. Rewinds. Now, you're holding the flashlight in a different room. Room 9. No. Room 2. Or the hallway. You blink. You're standing in a field. Snow. The flashlight is on. Still breathing, still humming. The snow falls upward, lit faintly by a glow that doesn't exist. Your breath clouds in front of you, but refuses to dissipate. You whisper, "Where am I?" And the flashlight answers, not in words, but in syllables that drift into your teeth. You've never left. The world spins once. You're back in the motel room, flashlight still humming, but now you hear it clearly. A voice, inside the light, like someone calling from beneath the bulb, faint, insistent, saying your name, but not your name now. The name you wore as a child, the name you haven't heard since the mirror cracked in your grandmother's bathroom. You whisper back. The light dims, then pulses, rhythmic, responsive. You move it slowly across the room, and the shadows lean, not away from the beam, but toward it, like moths who've learned to worship heat instead of flame. You flick the light off. The hum continues. You place the flashlight on the bed. It rolls, stops, points at the closet. The door creaks open slightly, not enough to see in. You lift the light again. It flickers, 3 long pulses, too short. You remember the code. You don't remember how. You approach the closet. Open it slowly. Inside, nothing. Just the sound. A faint wind pulling inward. And the light suddenly flares, blinding, though it shouldn't be able to. Inside the beam, a figure. Just for a second. Eyes, no face, then nothing. You drop the flashlight. It doesn't hit the floor. It floats, suspended mid-air, still pointing inward, still humming. A voice from the beam speaks now. Words formed from pulse, breath, repetition. You left us in the light. You said it was safe. You step back. The light follows you, casting no shadow, only voice, only memory. The walls shiver. A new door appears. Not the motel door, not wood, glass, frosted. Behind it, flickering images, old film reels of you as a child, turning a flashlight on and off in the dark, muttering, listening. You reach for the knob. It fogs under your fingers. You hesitate. The light speaks again. Open it only if you remember what you promised. You let go. The door fades. The flashlight dims. Falls gently to the carpet. Silent. But now, in the distance, the sound of tires on gravel. Headlights bleeding through the fog outside. A car. Your car. The engine idling. Waiting. But you're not sure if you ever got out of it in the first place. You blink. The flashlight is gone. In its place, a mirror. Fogged over. In your own handwriting. We're still here. In the beam. The mirror fades slowly, like it regrets being seen. Its final message lingers on your breath, and you taste the ink of it as you step backward. Fog ink, old ink, the kind used in letters never sent. Somewhere in the distance, a familiar sound rises. Not footsteps, not wind, not rain. A radio, buried under static, humming through the drywall like it's searching for a signal that doesn't exist anymore. The motel room darkens, but you never turned out the light. The bulb above you sighs and dims into a dull, red glow, like a heartbeat forgotten at the top of the stairs. You listen closer. The voice inside the static calls your name, softly, once, twice. Then it changes. The tone, gentler now, slower, dragging vowels like a lullaby, forgotten halfway through. It's her, your grandmother, but younger, or perhaps older than she ever was. She speaks as though from beneath the floorboards, through layers of sleep and wax paper. Come now. Come back in. Don't wander off into the static. You know better than to listen too long. You freeze. The radio isn't visible, but the voice continues. You step toward the wall. Place your ear against it. It's warm. It vibrates faintly, like a throat behind plaster, like an echo pinned behind wallpaper roses. The voice repeats. You left the suitcase again. It's still under the bed. and you didn't zip it all the way. You kneel, check. The bed is made. Crisp corners, unmoving sheets. You lift the coverlet, and there it is. The suitcase. Familiar now. Always here. Always waiting. You pull it out. The zipper halfway open. Just as she said. Inside. A photograph. Same one as before. Only now, the you in the photo has aged. Eyes heavier. Posture slightly bent. And the flashlight beam is gone. You're holding a radio instead. Tiny. Portable. Black plastic. A wire curled like a question mark. On the back, the name Ruth etched in what looks like fingernail scratches. Your grandmother's name. You don't remember writing it, but you know you did. You reach into the suitcase again. This time your fingers find something metal. A dial. You pull gently. A radio. Identical to the one in the photo. The static hums to life. Instantly. As though it never stopped. You try to adjust the dial. It turns endlessly. No resistance. Just circular motion that never lands. Still, the voice continues. Don't forget the key, she says. The static swells. You whisper, what key? And the voice pauses, then replies, the one you left in the sugar bowl, in the motel kitchen, before the road began looping. The radio clicks, then silence. No static, nothing, just the quiet of breath held too long. You lower the device. It melts into the carpet. You look around. The walls are shifting again. Roses pulling back into stems, vines retreating into plaster like veins sealing shut. The room is remembering itself. A door appears, new, not motel style, wooden, rounded top, the kind that belongs in old houses with forgotten attics and dusty porcelain tucked behind glass. You reach for the knob. It's locked, but your hand still turns it, because the lock isn't for you. The hallway beyond smells like cloves and dust. A hallway you know. Her hallway. Your grandmother's house. Only you never arrived by car. You arrived by forgetting. You step forward. The carpet is different now. Plastic runner over old wool. Photographs on the wall, all slightly tilted, all humming faintly. Each one whispers, not in words, in rhythms, breaths. Old conversations looping in whispers, just outside comprehension. You stop at one. Your grandmother's face. Younger here. Eyes fierce. Lips parted, as if caught mid-warning. The photo flickers. A voice begins again. This time not through the wall, through the floor. You kneel, ear to the runner. The voice is clearer now. You were never supposed to go past room 12, but you always do. Always have. You whisper, what happens if I stop? The floor answers. Then we forget you too. You rise. The hallway elongates. The walls lean slightly inward. Shadows shift behind the photographs. crawling across frames like ink smearing in time-lapse. The radio in your pocket clicks again, but there's no radio, just the echo, just her voice. Next time, zip the suitcase, or more will spill out. You've entered the next room without ever touching a door. It unfolds around you like breath, like cloth unfurling underwater. The walls are made of window glass now, fogged from the inside, cold from the out. You place your palm against one and feel a pulse behind it. Not yours. Not quite. Outside, snow, but not falling, rising. Delicate flakes lifting upward against gravity, brushing past the panes like moths confused by flame. They collect at the top of the window, melt into clouds, disappear, and come again. A loop. You take a breath. It fogs the glass further. On the other side, shapes begin to form in the condensation. Faces first, but only in suggestion. Noses smudged into loops, mouths like fingerprints left in frost. Some wear your expression, some don't. A sound begins, soft at first, like sugar pouring across linoleum, then sharper, the grind of tires on ice. You turn. The room is your car. Again, back seat now. The driver's seat is empty. No steering wheel, no radio, no road. Just upward snow, swirling past the windows, refusing to land. The dashboard reads 3:33. The glove box vibrates. You open it. Inside. Not gloves, just a photograph. You in the back seat of a different car. Eyes open. Mouth stitched shut with red thread. You blink. The photo crumbles to ash in your hands. Disappears before it can fall. The car door beside you opens, but not outward, inward, like a page turning. You're standing now, not in the room, not in the car, but between. A hallway stretches ahead, made entirely of windows, each one showing the same snow, the same angle, but something's different. A figure, distant, walking towards you, slow, fog-bled. You start walking. The snow outside walks too, matching your pace, matching your hesitation. You pass a window with words etched in frost. You've never left the car. Another one. The road is circular because memory is. You reach the end of the hall. The figure reaches you too, but not outside, inside the glass. It presses its hand to the window. You match it. Your hands are different sizes. Yours, smaller, younger. The figure's outline trembles, then distorts, turns into fog. Then static, then the window shatters inward, but not with sound, with breath, a burst of air so cold it stills your heart for a second. Then the snow rushes inside, fills the room like reverse rain, drifting upward, folding around you in soft spirals. It doesn't melt, it hums. Tiny notes, a lullaby made of cold. You whisper, I've seen this before, and the snow answers. You see it every time. You're on the floor now, kneeling. Your hands pressed against the glass of a snow globe that isn't there, but you feel it. A boundary, a curve, the edges of a dome. Your breath echoes against it. Then, a voice from behind you, gentle, older. The snow remembers who you were before you looped. You turn. The room is empty, except for the sound of boots walking across salt. Approaching. You look down. Your feet haven't moved, but there are footprints around you, spiraling inward, too many to count, each melted slightly, each burned faintly with the shape of your name. You look back to the window. The snow stops, frozen mid-air. Then, slowly, it begins to fall upward again, as though the scene had been paused, rewound, and restarted without warning. The snow clears from the glass. You see yourself, sitting in the car, sleeping, breathing, a cassette in your lap. You blink. You're there. Back in the seat. Back in the cold. Back in the static. The cassette clicks. A voice begins to play. Yours. Wake up carefully. The snow hasn't finished yet. You open your eyes, but nothing has changed. Still in the back seat. Still breathing. Still snow rising past the windows, soft and soundless and indifferent. But something's different. The blanket. There's a blanket over your lap now. You didn't bring one. It's the kind your grandmother used to fold at the foot of her guest bed. Thin, worn through at the edges, floral patterns bleeding into each other like they were overwashed with night. You lift it gently. Something underneath. Movement, not fast, not violent, just a shifting. Like small limbs rearranging themselves, as if sleep had a body and it was still curling into position. You whisper, "Hello?" And the blanket settles. Quiet. Still. You reach underneath, fingertips brushing fabric, then cold skin, familiar skin, yours, a hand, small, your childhood hand, down to the scar on the knuckle from when you fell onto gravel trying to chase the wind. The hand squeezes, just once, then retracts, gone. You lift the blanket. Nothing there. Seat empty, but warm. The photograph is back, sitting on your lap. You in bed. A motel room you've never entered. Under the blanket. Eyes closed. And under the bed in the photo, a hand peeking out. Palm up, reaching. You flip the photo. No writing this time. Just static. Not printed. Embedded. You tilt it. The picture hums. Softly. Rhythmically. A lullaby. You know the tune, but not the words. Not anymore. The radio turns on, but you didn't touch it. The volume is low, like someone trying not to wake you. A voice, yours, telling a story. And then the child crawled beneath the bed and found the voice, still folded inside a pillow. You freeze. The voice continues. It said, I'm not a dream. I'm what you forgot to fear. You shut the radio off. It doesn't respond. The dial turns on its own. Upward. Louder. The back seat grows brighter. Pale. Sick. Light. Like something fluorescent trying to mimic moonlight but getting the frequency wrong. You look up. There's a mirror above the seat now. Not a rear view. A ceiling mirror. Long. Tilted. You see yourself. Sleeping. Even though you're awake. You blink. So does the reflection. But out of sync. The mirrored you opens its mouth. Something slides out. Not a tongue. Not breath. A whisper. In solid form. Like fog frozen into ribbon. It drifts down. Slithers past your cheek. You hear it as it brushes your ear. The dreams you didn't have still want to be seen. The ribbon melts. You're in bed again. The motel room. But the walls are different. Painted in familiar colours but with new patterns. Each swirl now a word you've almost remembered. The blanket is over you again. Heavier now. You try to move, but your limbs resist. Like they belong to someone sleeping deeper. Something moves under the mattress. Just once. A soft ripple. You lie still. Wait. The radio is on in the room. You didn't turn it on. The volume low. A child's voice. Yours again. Reciting something slowly, deliberately. Under the bed, the second me sleeps. The one I left there. The one that grew without me. The light flickers. You sit up. The mirror is back at the foot of the bed, but it's turned, tilted slightly toward the floor. You step toward it. The glass is dusty. Written in the fog, don't wake what you left behind. You blink. The message changes. It wakes itself. Behind you, the bed shifts again. Something small crawling beneath it. Not fast, just deliberate. It hums faintly. The tune from the cassette. You kneel. Lift the sheet. A pair of eyes stare back. Yours. But not now. Not then. In between. The reflection whispers. I've been dreaming your dreams for you. The eyes beneath the bed blink once, and the room exhales. The mirror fogs in reverse. Outside the window, snow becomes smoke, then soot, then ash, drifting upward still, but slower now, as if gravity had tired of choosing and left the decision to memory. You stand, but your legs remember a different weight. You're taller here, older. The room feels smaller. The ceiling lowers by an inch. Your head nearly brushes it. The air is warmer now, heavy. Each breath carries the scent of burnt pages and pine. Like a fire that started in a library and didn't quite finish. You walk toward the door, but it isn't a door anymore. It's a frame, empty. Beyond it, hallway again. But the walls are smeared, not blood, not ink, just residue of voices. You reach out, your fingers pass through it. It clings slightly, clammy, soft. You walk through, and the ash outside begins to fall harder now, whispering as it lands on the rooftop, like a conversation that doesn't involve you but still uses your name. Each whisper says it's slightly wrong. Closer, closer, then gone. You pass another mirror, this one cracked, the fracture line running directly through your reflection's eye. It watches you, but doesn't move. You don't stop. Further down the hallway, a door opens. Room 6. It breathes open, not with a creak, with a sigh. You enter. The room is empty, but the ash falls inside now, through the ceiling, through the corners, settling onto the bed like snowfall, remembering warmth. The mattress is already indented. You haven't sat yet, but something has. You approach. A radio sits in the center of the bed, on top of a photograph. You pick up the photo first. A motel hallway, identical to this one. But each door is open, and inside each, a figure, all facing away, all seated on beds, all wearing gloves, blue, wool, threadbare. You turn the photo over, this time in your own handwriting. I saw them fall asleep and keep dreaming even after they forgot how. You pick up the radio. It doesn't hum, it purrs. A soft vibration, like a cat sleeping against your chest, breathing a lullaby you never learned to hum. You press the dial. No station, just ash falling harder now. Through the speaker. Yes, ash falling through the speaker, piling gently on the bed sheets. It forms a shape, a hand, palm up, reaching. You don't touch it. You sit, carefully. The hand doesn't move, but it tilts, inviting. You place your own hand near it. The ash rises, curls upward, embraces your fingers like smoke choosing to settle. Then, a voice, your grandmother again, but this time speaking with hesitation. You left something in me when you were little, something I wasn't supposed to keep. You don't answer. She continues. I didn't open it. Not really, but it grew anyway. In the walls, behind the static, the radio purrs louder. The ash recoils, melts, gone. The voice is replaced by a whisper, not hers, yours. Echoing from the vents, the mirrors, the glass. There was no fire. You burned without flame. The room trembles slightly, just a shudder, just enough to make the shadows blink. You rise, the floor beneath you still warm, ash still on your shoes, even though it stopped falling. You turn toward the mirror again. It's been following you, hasn't it? Its reflection waiting in every room, sometimes forward, sometimes lagging. This time, it's accurate. You see yourself. You reach toward it. The reflection flinches, not from fear, from recognition, and scrawled in the dust now. Letters made of soot. You burned to remember. The soot on the mirror swirls inward as though stirred by your breath. But you haven't exhaled. Not for minutes. Not since you read the message. You burned to remember. Your reflection fogs again. Not all at once, but in slow, concentric waves, like something breathing inside the glass. Not you. Not exactly. It leans forward. You don't. It reaches out. You remain still. And then its hand presses flat against the other side of the mirror, palm to surface, fingers spread. You want to lift your own hand. You want to match it. But your arms feel anchored, heavy, like they belong to someone else now. Or like they've been borrowed by memory. The mirror tilts, just slightly. Enough to fracture the light into spirals that scatter across the floor, revealing a rug you hadn't noticed before. Worn, oval-shaped, stained faintly in the shape of a suitcase. You kneel, lift the rug. Beneath, a trapdoor, painted the same colour as the room, camouflaged. It smells like cedar, like childhood. You press your palm to the centre. It opens. No creak, no hinge, just yields. A staircase descends into shadow, into silence. But before you step down, you look back at the mirror. Your reflection is gone. In its place, a hallway, flickering lights, doors opening, and one figure standing still, facing the camera, wearing your coat, mouth stitched shut with red thread. You descend. Each step pulses beneath your foot like a heartbeat. Each echo sounds delayed, like the stairwell is remembering you a second too late. At the bottom, a room, round, stone walls, but soft, padded with soundproofing, stitched with the same vines that once grew from the Motel wallpaper. A single chair sits in the middle. On it, a cassette player, and next to it, a mirror, small, handheld, propped upright against a pillow. You approach, sit. The room exhales. You lift the mirror, stare. This time the reflection is layered, one over the other, you at every age, every expression, every room you've ever entered, stitched into the same space, looking back at you through time like a collage melted into glass. You touch the surface. It's warm. It beats. Once, you press play on the cassette. Your voice, but not alone. Others now, layered, softer, familiar. The sound of people you loved, people who forgot you, people you tried not to become. The voices chant softly, not words, names, yours, wrong, close, each one a misremembering that feels more right than the last. The mirror fogs. Writing etches into the surface. You've held your face for safekeeping. The cassette stops. Click. The room dims. A door appears in the stone, carved from wood, warped with age. The handle is made of bone. You stand. You turn back once. The mirror now reflects only the chair. Empty. You open the door. Inside. Another room. Another bed. The same blanket. Folded at the foot. A mirror over the headboard. A window facing nowhere. But this time, something new. On the bed, a journal. The cover is made of your coat's fabric, blue thread. You open it. Each page is blank until you reach the center, where one sentence is scrawled in looping cursive. Your reflection has been watching longer than you've been alive. You close the journal. The mirror over the headboard shows a door opening. This one. Now, you look up. You're in the reflection, sitting on the bed, holding the journal. Only, you're smiling. You are not smiling. The reflection speaks without lips moving. A thought, a pressure in your chest. I'm the version you left behind, the one who stayed asleep, the one who listened. You whisper, why? The answer arrives as breath on the glass. Because someone had to remember how it ends. You touch the mirror. It turns black, then shows the motel again. Room 1, then room 2, room 3. Every room looping, one after another. Each one still occupied. Each one holding a version of you that hasn't found the mirror yet. You close the journal. Not with your hands. They move on their own now. Gentle, reverent, as if afraid the pages might flake away like dried leaves if closed too sharply. The fabric of the cover hums softly as it shuts, as though a voice were trapped in the threads, exhaling relief. You stand, but the bed remains warm, like you're still in it, like a version of you never left. The mirror ripples, not fog, not fracture. Something beneath the surface, swimming, shifting. You turn from it. The door opens behind you before you reach it. Another hallway, longer, wider, but not new. Familiar in the way a scar is familiar, something healed over, but never quite forgotten. You step through. The carpet is softer than before, wet, but not from rain. Ash melted, absorbed. Your footsteps don't echo anymore. They trail behind you in reverse. You glance back, no prints. Just fog pooling gently where you were. The hallway ends at a window. No glass, just a frame. Beyond it, the road. The same road. But now you see it from above. It coils through the landscape like a serpent made of memory and regret. No end, no beginning, no intersections. Only the loop, only the repetition. A shape burned into the earth, into you. You lean forward, and the fog rises to meet you. you fall, but only a few inches, onto pavement. Your car parked beside you, still warm. Still ticking, the hazard lights blink, but the sound doesn't match the light. Click, click, click. Pause, click. The rhythm of a warning. You open the door, sit inside. The seat is wet, from fog, from something else. The mirror hangs askew. You adjust it, but it doesn't reflect. It reveals. A sign, behind you now, flickering just past the bend in the road. You have passed this point before. The letters distort between blinks. You have never left. You close your eyes, count to 3, open them. The sign is gone, but the feeling remains. You look at the dashboard, 3:33 a.m. No date, no second, just the moment, frozen. You turn the key. The car starts without hesitation, but the radio hums before the engine, static. Then your voice, again, this time quieter, almost kind. Don't panic. You've done this before. You'll do it again. This is how it works. You drive. Fog parts for the headlights, but just barely. It always does. Just enough. Just until the next curve, where the same mailbox waits, bent, unreadable, the same tree, split in the middle, still bleeding sap, still whispering. You grip the wheel tighter, your hands ache. The gloves are gone, but their warmth remains. You whisper, "Show me something new." The fog responds by opening, just slightly, revealing a road sign. The road doesn't end. It loops. You exhale and say it aloud, just to hear it, just to feel it. The road doesn't end. It loops. The wheels hum beneath you. The mirror flickers again, and for a moment, just one, you see all the other versions of you driving the same curve, same headlights, same hour, each looping in their own sealed lane of memory. Each whispering the same phrase into the static, each hoping, foolishly, to be the one who finds the exit. But there is no exit, only repetition, only fog, only the hum of tyres on familiar asphalt. You glance down, the cassette player is open, empty, but still spinning, still remembering. The road fades behind you, not with distance, but with silence. It doesn't vanish. It forgets itself, and you forget with it. You can still feel the wheel under your palms, but the texture has shifted. No longer vinyl, now threadbare wool, frayed like something hand-stitched. Like something left inside a suitcase that no one's dared open in years. The engine hums, soft and circular, not moving you forward, but inward. The speedometer doesn't change. Your foot is off the pedal. You're not driving anymore. But the car continues, drifting slow as breath through the fog. The dashboard clock flickers. You glance at it. It's no longer numbers, just a pair of clock hands. One bent, the other trembling slightly, like it wants to tick but is too tired. You reach toward it. Your finger brushes the plastic face. It ripples. Not cracks, not glass, but liquid. And beneath the surface, time begins to melt backward. The hands rotate, slowly at first, then faster, spinning in reverse until they twist into each other. They bend, not break, bend like sleeping bodies curling into themselves. You stare and realize the second hand is ticking in breath, not in time. Inhale, tick, exhale, tick. You whisper, "What time is it?" The mirror answers, not with sound, with fog. A message drawn across its surface by an unseen finger. It's time to return to before. The lights outside dim. The fog draws close again. Shapes form in the mist. Trees you remember. Signs that once read things. But the letters are backward now. The world is reading you in reverse. You blink, and the car slows. A house appears. Faint outline. Childhood house. One story. Green shingles. A swing in the yard, swaying gently though there's no wind. You stop the car, even though the brakes never depress. You're simply no longer moving. You open the door, step out. The earth is soft, grassy, but you don't hear your footsteps. The world is muted. You approach the front door. It opens before you knock. Inside, a hallway you remember in pieces. Framed photos on the wall, but each one fogged over, faces erased or never printed. Only your silhouette remains in each, always the same distance from the lens, always alone. You reach the end of the hallway, a room yours. The walls are blue. The ceiling bears faint glow in the dark stars, though you never recall placing them. On the bed, a clock, analog, identical to the one in the car. Same bent hands, same rhythm. You pick it up, it hums in your hand. Not tick, just hum. You flip it, no battery, still ticking. You press it to your ear, a whisper, your voice as a child, saying the same thing over and over. It was later than I thought. It was later than I thought. It was... You lower it. And now there's another object on the bed. A pillow with an ear print, still fresh, still warm. Someone has just left, or is about to arrive. The window creaks open. Outside, the swing. Now, holding a figure. You can't make out their face, but they're holding a flashlight, clicking it inward, not outward. The light flashes once, then again, then pulses. A rhythm. Familiar, the same rhythm as the bent clock hands. You turn. The wall has become mirror. No frame, no edge, only reflection. You stare, and this time, the face staring back is not yours. It's the figure from the swing, still faceless, still holding the flashlight. You raise your hand. The reflection matches you, then stops, then raises the clock instead, and presses it to the glass. On your side, nothing. But you feel it, the hum, the bend of the hands. You whisper, "Why did we stop time?" The reflection answers, "So sleep could catch up." The mirror fogs. A new message writes itself. You didn't break the clock. It bent for you. You press your hand to the mirror, and this time it pushes back. The mirror doesn't resist. It breathes beneath your hand, flexing like skin under pressure. Warm, pliant, too alive to be glass. You lean into it. It yields, and you fall, not downward, inward. The sensation is slower than gravity, slower than sleep. You fall like a page turning. You land on carpet, soft, familiar, hotel carpet, but darker, damp with time. The hallway curves impossibly to the left. You start walking, but with each step, the walls behind you shift. Doors vanish. Lights replace themselves. The air grows thick with static. Not loud, just constant. Like a radio tuned one notch off from clarity. And from that static, voices begin to swell, low at first, then clearer. Your voice, echoing through the carpet, the ceiling, the seams of the hallway like it's being pressed out of the wallpaper itself. You pause. The walls breathe in. The ceiling lowers slightly. And ahead, where the hallway should continue, there's a door. Alone. Dark wood. No number. You reach for the knob. It's warm. But when you touch it, it turns to mist. The entire door softens, crumples like wet paper, and you walk through the shape of it. Inside, another room. Or maybe a memory of one. It's quiet, except the echo. The echo is still here, coming from the mirror, a tall one, floor length, nailed directly to the wall as if someone tried to trap something inside. It's covered in dust, but someone has wiped a single word into it. Stay. You whisper, "I can't." And the mirror fogs over again. No reflection, only a door. Another, behind you. You turn. It isn't there. The room has no entrance now, only the mirror. You approach. Your breath creates small bursts of clarity in the fog. The longer you breathe, the more you see. A hallway, identical to the one you just left, but this one's upside down. The floor on the ceiling below. You press your palm to the glass. It stays firm. But the echo grows louder. Now it's calling your name, over and over, slightly wrong each time. Like someone who once heard it, but never wrote it down. A scraping sound starts beneath the floor. You kneel. Place your ear to the carpet. There's something alive in the silence. Something pressing upward. A voice. yours again, saying you've left too many versions of yourself behind. You stand, turn in a slow circle. The room breathes, walls pulsing like lungs, like they've memorized the rhythm of your heartbeat and now mimic it. You call out, "Is there a way out?" The echo answers, "There's no exit." Pause. Only echo. The mirror flashes. Your reflection appears, but it's walking away. Down the hallway you can't reach. The same motel carpet. Same curve. Same fog gathering at the far end. You raise your hand. It doesn't. You speak. It doesn't. It vanishes. The mirror is just glass again. This time, cracked. Hairline fissures, spiraling outward from a center point. Like a compass lost in time. You touch the crack, and a door appears behind you. No knob, no frame, just shape. You press your fingers to its center. It opens like paper unfolding. Behind it, your voice, reading softly. And the echo led them back to the room with no number, where the loop began and refused to end. You whisper, "I remember this," and the walls repeat it back to you. "I remember this." You step through the door, and the hallway forms. This time, mirrors on both sides. Each one containing a version of you paused in motion. One reaching, one weeping, one asleep, one with red threads stitched across their mouth. Each one lit by a flashlight that pulses inward instead of outward. You walk past them, slowly, letting each reflection blur as you move. At the end of the hall, a door. This one is closed. This one has a knob. This one breathes. You reach for it, and the echo behind you fades, but not before one last whisper. You are not leaving. You're arriving. The door doesn't open. It unfolds, like a paper model soaked in time. It peels backward, revealing a staircase spiraling up, not tight and narrow like the ones in dreams of falling, but wide and sloping, gentle, like an invitation carved from old breath. You place your foot on the first step. It sighs beneath your weight. The entire staircase seems to inhale, and then waits. Each step creaks differently, some like footsteps you recognize, others like the spine of an old book cracking open on its own. At the top, a trapdoor, painted shut. Except the paint peels as you raise your hand. No latch, only pressure. You press gently. The door lifts, revealing the attic. Not just any attic, yours or your grandmother's. Or the attic from that photo you never took. The air is stale, but warm. The kind of warmth that implies something has been waiting. There are suitcases everywhere. Dozens, maybe more. Some stacked to the ceiling, some half opened, some vibrating faintly, like they're breathing or whispering among themselves. The floorboards creak beneath you in slow, deliberate syllables. You kneel beside the closest case. It's small, covered in stickers from places that don't exist anymore. You open it. Inside, a doll made of static. Its eyes are speaker cones. Its mouth stitched with audio tape. You close the lid gently. The doll doesn't resist. The next suitcase is heavier. You lift the lid and fog spills out, thick, white, humming. Inside, a mirror, cracked into 4 pieces. Each shard shows you a different moment. One from today, one from a childhood you forgot, one from a future that doesn't arrive, one from a night that hasn't happened yet. You lean in, the mirror whispers, these were your dreams before they were erased. You close that suitcase too, move to the third. It opens on its own, empty, except at the bottom, a key, small, brass, teeth filed into the shape of a question mark. Attached to it, a tag, handwritten, your grandmother's pen. Do not use until you've forgotten. You pocket it. The suitcase hums once, then goes still. In the corner of the attic, a light bulb flickers, unshaded, dangling from a frayed cord. Its pull string sways without wind. You reach for it, but stop. There's something above you. A second level, ladderless, just a square of black in the ceiling, barely outlined. You stare, and the suitcases begin to shift. Soft scraping, zippers yawning, locks unlatching with tired clicks. They open together, not wide, just enough. Inside each, objects from your life, or from lives you might have had. A cassette labelled your first silence. A glove still damp from snow. A photograph of you asleep, mouth slightly open, with static curling from your lips like smoke. A journal you don't remember writing in, filled with phrases you whisper in your sleep. You turn, and all at once, the attic exhales. The light bulb flares. The hatch above flickers. And a final suitcase slides into the center of the room. Smaller than the rest. Velvet wrapped. You kneel. Open it. Inside, a pillow. Indentation fresh. The shape of a head recently dreaming. A note beside it, one sentence. Someone still up here is pretending to be you. You stare into the case, and you hear it, breathing, steady, curled in the corners of the attic, not threatening, just present, just waiting, like a secret that knows it will never be told. You close the suitcase, stand. All around you, the cases fall silent. You step backward toward the trapdoor, but before you leave, you whisper, "What have I left here?" And the attic answers, "Everything that didn't fit in memory." You step down from the attic, Each stair creaks a different version of your name. You don't correct them. You reach the hallway again. Only now it stretches forward in both directions, lined with windows that show no outside, only reflections of interior spaces you haven't entered yet. You listen. The air is thick with listening too. Then, a sound. Not wind, not static, not breath, but rain. Not above you, not on the roof, below. A slow, gentle tapping under the floorboards. You kneel. Press your palm to the ground. The wood is warm, wet in places. The tapping continues, soft and deliberate, like fingertips tracing your history in Morse. You lower your head, ear to floor. The tapping grows clearer, not chaotic, not storm, measured. A rhythm with shape, and underneath it, a whisper, barely audible. A single voice, older than your memory. It says, "You forgot to let it in." You rise slowly, look around. The hallway is empty, except the floorboards now ripple faintly with each tap, like water just beneath the surface trying to speak through wood. You walk, not toward a door, but toward the sound. Each step softer, each board speaking in tongue-click patterns. You reach a point where the floor grows soft, spongy, sinking gently. You kneel again. This time, the board lifts. No effort. Beneath, not pipes, not concrete, not insulation. A pool, still water, silent. Lit from beneath by a flickering orange glow like candlelight filtered through memory. Rain falls upward from its surface, toward you. Tiny droplets spiraling slowly past your face. They don't wet your skin. They whisper, each one a syllable, a word, a forgotten sigh. The voice returns. Let it in, or it finds another way. You exhale. The water below shifts, reveals objects beneath its surface. You see a toy from childhood, cracked but clean. A mirror the size of your palm, fogged from within. A cassette labelled only with your name and a question mark. You reach toward the water. It recedes. Not out of reach, but out of time. You speak, it stills. You lower your hand again. A single droplet rises, hovers near your fingers. It pulses and speaks. The rain fell once. Now it waits. It lands on your fingertip. You hear a door unlock behind you. You turn. A room, unlabeled, but waiting. The knob is damp, the door cold. You open it, step inside. The sound of rain continues from under the carpet now. The room is unfurnished, except for a single object in the centre. A nightstand. On it, a bowl. Porcelain. Inside the bowl, a key. No tag. Just wait. You pick it up. The bowl fills with water the moment your fingers lift it. Rain trickling from nowhere, dropping rhythmically into the porcelain. You pocket the key, and the floor shifts. A voice, familiar now, murmurs, "You used to hide under this room. Now you are the room. You sit, close your eyes. Feel the tapping beneath your feet become heartbeat. Not yours, but close. You whisper, who listens when the rain has no roof? The answer curls up from beneath the floor. You do. You always did. You just forgot you heard it. You open your eyes, but the room doesn't return the favor. It remains dim, reluctant. Light comes not from above or behind, but from the walls themselves, glowing softly, as if memory had decided to illuminate you instead of bulbs. You stand, and the walls respond. A ripple in the surface, faint like heat off asphalt or breath against fogged glass. You take a step forward, and so does your reflection, but not from a mirror, from the wallpaper. Its face slides into view, smudged and wavering in the pattern of ivy vines and curling flowers. You blink, it doesn't. You step back, it follows. A moment later, another figure peels itself from the opposite wall. Then another. Each reflection steps lightly into the room. Some barefoot, some in boots you've never worn. Each of them you, but not entirely. Versions split from moments you forgot to notice. Echoes grown solid in corners you never looked at long enough. They move like sleepwalkers, gentle, inward. Their mouths do not open, but their eyes speak. Some are bandaged, some fogged like windshields caught in storms. One clutches a cassette, one drags a suitcase. One whispers without voice, a hand pressed flat to the ceiling as if gravity were a suggestion it no longer honours. You stand in the middle of the room, the centre of their orbit. You don't feel threatened, only gathered, like they've come for a reason. The first one steps closer. The one with the gloves holds them out to you. But they're not wool. They're glass, translucent, and filled with smoke. Inside each, your face. Tiny, sleeping. You shake your head. The figure withdraws. The second one steps forward, offers you the mirror from the attic. Unbroken now. You look, see nothing, no reflection, only a door, a motel hallway, the exact one you've just left. The mirror goes still. The figure retreats. Another approaches. No object, just breath. It leans in, forehead nearly touching yours, and you feel the whisper before it arrives. You left something in all of us, a part that never blinked. Then they begin to climb, one by one, up the walls, into the corners, into the ceiling beams, like spiders shaped from memory and old light. They do not struggle. They ascend naturally, as if that's all reflections have ever wanted, to rise from the surface and live somewhere with more shadow than shine. You turn slowly, all walls, all reflections, all you. Some paused mid-fall, Some paused mid-scream, some asleep, mouth open, static pouring out. You whisper, "What do you want from me?" The ceiling cracks, the light pulses, and they answer in unison, to be remembered correctly. One final figure remains, closer than the rest, sits in the chair you hadn't seen. A chair pulled from nowhere, from some back corner of a dream too small to remember. This version of you wears a coat, the one you lost when you were 13. Its pockets are full of water, dripping steadily onto the floor, creating ripples in the dust. You kneel, look into their eyes. They speak, not aloud, but from inside your teeth. There was never one of you, only many, repeating. You nod, and the chair is empty. You rise. The door is back, only now. The knob is fogged. You touch it, and all the reflection pours. All eyes on you. One blinks, the others do not. You open the door, step into another hallway, but behind you the light fades, and the walls begin to speak. Not words, just breath, just rhythm, and a final whisper. We were never mirrors, we were doors. The hallway stretches long and still. No doors, no windows, just walls, the colour of waiting. The floor is padded, not in carpet, but in silence, the kind that absorbs every footfall, every breath, until even your heartbeat sounds like a memory instead of a sound. At the far end, a table, and on that table, a radio. Small, black, dial worn smooth, its antenna twisted slightly, like it's been bent back and forth too many times in rooms that no longer exist. As you approach, it begins to crackle, not play, crackle, like static warming up before speaking someone else's truth. Then, it stops. A pause so complete that it hums. You sit, because of course there is a chair now. It wasn't there before, but it belongs to this moment. You place your hands on the table. The radio clicks. The dial turns on its own. And then, without warning, your voice, speaking. Not a sentence. A thought. The last one you had before stepping into this hallway. But you hadn't said it aloud. You hadn't even formed the words fully. Still, the radio speaks it. I don't think I'm supposed to leave. You shudder. The radio hums again, and now a sound beneath the voice. A heartbeat, your own, but reversed. Inhaled instead of exhaled. You reach towards the dial. It jerks away from your hand, twists quickly. A new thought. Older. One you've forgotten for years. But there it is, plain and exact. I wish I hadn't opened that door. You don't remember which door. The memory slips away as soon as you try to focus, but the guilt remains. You lift the radio. It's heavier now, as if each thought weighs more than the one before. You set it down. The speaker pulses, and a third voice speaks. Not yours. Familiar. Low. Calm. It says, "We are built from your echoes. Every skipped breath becomes a hallway." You rise. The hallway extends forward. The table disappears. The radio hums behind you, then cuts to silence. But before you take another step, it turns on again. One final phrase. Your voice. But not a memory. A future thought. One you haven't had yet. It says, "They won't hear me unless I stay asleep." You freeze. Turn back. The table is gone. But the hum lingers in the walls. You press your hand against the drywall. It trembles faintly, like bone beneath thin skin. You whisper, "Who's playing this?" The answer arrives in Morse. A flicker from the light overhead. Then a slow trickle of letters on the wall, burned faintly into the paint. Y-O-U. You blink. And the hallway resets. Same length, same light. But now, 5 radios, all playing at once, each speaking a different version of you. One whispering, one laughing, one crying, one breathing, one saying nothing, only static, only fog. You walk past each, listening. They blur as you pass, like memories losing fidelity, their voices lowering into murmurs and glances, and finally, silence, until the final one. It's not playing. It's waiting. You reach for the dial, turn it. A voice begins. Yours, but recorded from far away, as if captured through a dream. It says, "The last thought isn't spoken, it's broadcast. Every night. Same time." You check the clock. There is no clock. Only fog where numbers should be, and the faint shimmer of 333 glowing somewhere inside the static. The radio clicks off, and the hallway ends. A mirror waits, darkened, not reflective. You see nothing in it, not even yourself, until a thought, your own, unspoken, whispers inside your skull. I think I'm still dreaming. I just don't remember when I fell asleep. The mirror shows your eyes, blinking. Not here, in a different room, in a car, in a bed, in all of them, all at once, watching yourself have this thought again, and again, and again. The mirror fades again, not into fog, not into shadow, but into fabric. A wall of thick cloth folds over the glass. Like a curtain you didn't draw. The hallway behind you vanishes. Now you're standing in a room. You don't remember entering it. There are no windows, no lamps, only the closet. Its door stands half open. The dark inside deeper than the room itself. A blackness that bends slightly inward, like the threshold to a throat. You step closer. The air smells like cedar, old paper and mothballs steeped in something warm. Memory, your childhood closet. You know that scent. You once hid in it during storms, heart racing as thunder paced the house outside. You place your hand on the doorknob. It's soft, like skin. You flinch, but it doesn't move. You press gently. The door opens the rest of the way with a sound like breath slipping through teeth. Inside, empty hangers. No clothes. Each one slightly swaying even though there's no wind. You reach out and touch the nearest. It still vibrates. Something has just been here. You lean in. The back of the closet stretches further than it should, much further. You crouch, enter. Your knees brush against carpet that should be wood. Your fingers touch walls that curve like ribs. The sound changes. Quieter now, more focused. You pause. Then, there, a voice. No words, just the shape of them, a murmur with no source. You crawl deeper. The light behind you fades, not into blackness, but into velvet grey, like the inside of a photograph developing while you move through it. And then you stop, because something breathes inches from your ear. Not breath, soundless breath. The idea of air shifting. A voice with no mouth, no language, only shape. It presses syllables into your thoughts, not sentences, impressions. You left me in the closet. You whisper. Who are you? Silence. Then, the version of you that never came out. Your chest tightens. You remember now. That day, that storm, the voice you heard behind your own thoughts, the hand you almost reached for but didn't, the feeling of being two people in one space and not knowing which one was real. You speak again, quietly, apologetically. I was afraid. The closet responds by drawing you deeper. The walls narrow. Clothes begin to appear, stitched from memories. Your grandfather's coat, your mother's scarf. A jacket you always wanted to wear, but were told was not for you. You reach for it now. It crumbles. Dust. Ash. Gone. You sit in the middle of the closet, and the voice returns. You didn't leave me. You folded me. A pause. But I kept breathing. The hangers stop swaying. One falls, lands soundlessly. The voice grows closer. Let me say something now. You close your eyes. Feel the air shift in your throat. The words come out, but not from your mouth, not from your lungs. They come out of the silence itself. I am still you. I am still waiting. You open your eyes. The closet is gone. You're sitting on the floor of a new room, empty, except for one small mirror, shoved into the corner. You crawl toward it, lift it. On the glass, your face. But younger, tears held at the edge of your eyes like forgotten questions. The voice speaks once more, through the reflection. Next time, leave the door open. The mirror tilts in your hands, not from your grip, but as if it wants you to see something behind you. You don't look, not yet. You stare into the reflection instead. It's raining, not in the room, in the glass. Behind your reflection, droplets form and fall upward, tracing the pane like tiny fish swimming towards the surface. They tap, softly, deliberately. You listen. There's a rhythm. 3 short, 2 long, 1 short. A pause. Then again, a message. You don't translate it. You feel it somewhere between spine and jaw, where language collapses into knowing. The rain spells your name, not the one you use now, the older one. The name you wrote in a diary and sealed in a box you buried under your childhood bed. You whisper it. The mirror fogs. In the condensation, an answer. We've been trying to reach you. You tilt the mirror downward. The rain continues, now tapping against the surface itself. Inside the glass, a room takes shape. Not this room, but one you remember in pieces. White walls, a desk, a flashlight pointed inward. You see yourself, younger, sitting, listening to static pour from a tiny radio held against your temple like a conch shell. Your mouth moves, but no sound comes out. Until now. The mirror plays it back. I think the rain can hear me. I think it's trying to talk. You flinch because you remember thinking that. You remember whispering it into your pillow. But you were alone, weren't you? You set the mirror down. Rain begins to fall in the room, not from the ceiling, from the walls. Tiny droplets seeping out of the corners, from electrical sockets, from the seams in the carpet. They tap. Again, in Morse. You watch them gather. They don't puddle. They form shapes. Letters. A word. Reply. You exhale. The fog swirls from your breath and joins the message, rewriting the final letter into a question mark. Reply. You kneel. Place your hand flat against the wall. It's damp, but warm. You speak slowly, carefully. I'm here. Silence. Then, the mirror flashes. A new reflection. Not you, not quite. A version. Older, eyes heavy, wearing a coat made of night, holding a key with no teeth. They raise a hand, tap once against the mirror, then twice, then rest it flat. You mirror the motion. The glass is cold, but alive. A heartbeat against your palm, and then rain falls again. From nowhere, onto the mirror, drips down the surface in rivulets that curl into words. This time, in your handwriting. We never left. You just stopped listening. You nod. The room shifts slightly. The mirror pulls back from your hand. Rain dries in reverse. The droplets lift, vanishing into fog. You pick up the mirror again. It shows the road, your car, empty, engine off, door cracked open, the seat still warm, the headlights blinking in time with your heart. 3:33 glowing faintly on the dash. You trace your finger along the edge of the mirror and speak one more sentence, quiet, just for the rain. I think I'm ready now. The mirror doesn't respond, but you know it heard you, because the rain stops tapping, and the silence that follows is the softest yes you've ever felt. The silence lasts too long, not the awkward kind, just endless. The mirror sets itself down on the floor without your help, and you're already halfway to the door before you realize your legs have moved on their own. The hallway outside hums, not with lights, with tone. A pure, slow synthwave of a sound, like a phone ringing in a dream you forgot to wake from. You follow it, turn left, then left again. The motel wraps around you like memory trying to explain itself. You stop before room 0. The door has no number, just a rotary phone mounted to it. Bright red. The cord coils tightly, so tightly it hums. You stare at the receiver. It vibrates faintly, just enough to suggest it has been ringing for a very long time, but not out loud. You reach for it, lift it. It's warm, not electronic warm, skin warm. You press it to your ear. There's no dial tone, just breathing, not yours. It's slow, careful, and then a voice, not a stranger's, yours, but delayed, like it's catching up. It says, "You weren't supposed to pick up, not yet." You say nothing. The voice continues. "But since you did, you should know." The loops are folding faster now. The fog is listening. You ask quietly, "Who are you?" A pause. "I'm the one who stayed on the line while you slept." The door clicks. Not unlocks, just clicks. You push it open with your shoulder. The phone still pressed to your ear. Inside, a motel room, empty except for a chair and a tape recorder. The cassette is already turning. You step in, close the door behind you, still listening. The voice in the receiver shifts, grows younger, childlike, still you. You left a message in the fog. You said, "Don't let me go back. Don't let me forget." You sit. The chair remembers you. It sighs as you settle. The tape recorder clicks. The cassette begins to rewind. The voice in the phone says, "Listen." You press play. It begins. If you're hearing this, the version of you that made it past the mirror has found the phone. A pause. Then, which means the other you is already sleeping again. You grip the receiver tighter. The air thickens. You ask, "What do I do now?" No one answers. The tape keeps playing. Wind on the audio. Soft. Then rain, then you again. Every version has picked up the phone, eventually, each in a different way. The rain grows louder in the room, but outside the window, it still rises instead of falls. You glance toward the blinds. They ripple inward. Something is breathing through them. The receiver hums, then speaks again. The road is waking up. It wants to call back. You blink. The phone clicks, goes dead. You place it back in the cradle. It keeps ringing anyway. From the wall, from the air, from the cracks in the ceiling. You stand. The cassette stops. You remove it. There's something written on the label now. You hadn't seen it before. Don't forget this call. You pocket it. Open the closet. Inside, fog. Not clothes. Just fog. Folded neatly. A coat hook shaped like a question mark. You reach inside. Your hand passes through. Grips something solid. A receiver. Another one. Already warm. Already waiting. You bring it to your ear. A voice whispers. It loops. Then silence. You hang up. And the closet disappears. So does the room. You're back in the hallway. Phone still pressed to your shoulder. Still listening. Only static now. But deep in that static. A rhythm. A pulse. A signal. Your own breath. Just slightly behind. Still catching up. The line has gone quiet. But you keep the receiver to your ear. Not to listen, but to remember how it felt to be heard. You step through the hallway again, though the walls have shifted once more. Longer now. Impossibly narrow. Tilting slightly to the left, like the whole motel is leaning towards some hidden answer. Each step carries an echo, but not in front of you. Behind. A half beat behind. Footfalls where you were, not are. You pause. Listen. They pause too. You turn around. Nothing. Only shadow, but not from you. There is no light source, and yet they stretch out across the carpet like old ribbons, curling toward the corners of the hallway where light would gather if light was still real. You kneel, touch one. It recoils, shimmers, as if remembering its body. You whisper, "Are you mine?" And it replies not with movement, but with shape. It stretches up the wall, reveals a silhouette of you. Arms folded, head down, mouth stitched shut. Not with thread, but with time. The shape speaks, no sound, just a ripple of air that brushes past your cheeks, like a page turning beside your skin. We woke before you. We waited. You stand slowly, walk forward. The shadow follows again, but this time, not behind. Ahead. You're chasing it now. Or it's guiding you. You reach a new hallway, shorter. Doors line each side, all closed, but light spills from underneath each, flickering, unsteady, like candlelight remembered by someone who never saw fire. You approach the first, room 27, no keyhole, no knob, just a hinge. You push gently. It swings open. Inside, A bed, neatly made. On the pillow, a cassette. You step in. The light dims the moment you cross the threshold. You press play. A voice. Yours. Panicked. Breathless.
They're ahead of man, not behind. I thought that they were following, but I've been walking in their footsteps.
Click. You look down. Footprints on the carpet. Yours. But not from this moment. Already there. Already leading toward the mirror in the corner. You walk toward it. The reflection shows you standing. But behind your reflection, movement. A shape. Another shadow. Closer now. You spin around. Nothing. But your mouth is open. And you hear your voice from somewhere deep in the hallway whispering. They arrive before you do. That's how they know where you'll go. You close the mirror. Turn off the tape. Exit the room. Each door in the hallway now has a version of you behind it. You feel them. Sleeping. Waiting. Some already awake, watching you through the cracks. You whisper, "What do you want?" And the air grows heavier. Not loud. Not sharp. Just dense. A single breath answers you. We don't want. We remember. The hallway darkens. The overhead light flickers once, then twice, then holds, and from behind the last door, a knock, soft, measured, like fingers tapping a lullaby into wood. You approach room 33. You press your ear to the door. On the other side, a voice, muffled, yours, crying, repeating something, the same phrase over and over. Don't let the shadows sleep first. Don't let them dream before you do. The doorknob turns. You didn't touch it. It opens a crack, enough to release a shape of breath. A shadow spills out, wraps around your ankles, climbs slowly. Not to hurt, to remind, to say, you are always the last one to wake. You reach into your pocket. The key is still there. Brass, cold. Its teeth not jagged, but rounded. Smoothed down like something used too many times or never properly cut to begin with. You lift it into the hallway light, and for just a second, the metal pulses. Not reflection, memory. The tag still reads nothing, just blank paper, faded string. But when you blink, your handwriting appears on the tag. Only one word. Somewhere. You whisper, where? No answer. Just the feeling of being watched by something you once were. The hallway now ends in a wall. No door, no seam, just wallpaper. The same ivy pattern, curling up like it's climbing towards something long forgotten. You walk to it, raise the key, and the wall exhales. A doorknob appears where none was. Brass, identical to the key. You insert it. It doesn't turn. It listens. You feel a soft vibration from the knob, like a clock ticking behind wood, or a heart beating inside plaster. Then, click. The door opens inward. Darkness inside, but not empty. A weight to the air, like history. You step in. The walls are breathing. They rise and fall softly, like lungs remembering their purpose. And in the center of the room, a bed, a suitcase, a chair, and a door, another one, on the far side, but it has no knob, just a mirror embedded into it. You approach. The suitcase is unlocked, but closed. You sit. Place the key on your lap. The mirror door begins to fog. Words appear. You've never been in this room, but it's always been yours. You open the suitcase. Inside, a cassette labeled before. A photograph of you standing outside a motel room door, but the number is backwards. A set of gloves, wool, still damp, and beneath them an envelope. Unmarked, you open it. Inside, a single scrap of paper, no ink, just an indentation. You tilt it toward the mirror. The reflection fills in the message. If you remember this, close the door behind you. You walk toward the mirrored door. Press your hand against the glass. It pulses once, then twice. Your reflection looks exhausted, but calm. It raises its hand in perfect sync. No delay, no deviation. And for the first time, it smiles. You press your forehead to the mirror. Whisper, "What's through here?" The fog answers, letter by letter. The room you locked to stay asleep. You hesitate. Turn back to the suitcase. The gloves are gone. The cassette has melted slightly, warped. You pick it up anyway. Pocket it. The mirror door now shows a hallway. Familiar, endless, lined with mirrors. Each reflection asleep. Each mouth slightly open. Each one you. Breathing in sync. You return to the chair. Close your eyes. The key disappears from your hand. Not vanishes. Just no longer needed. The doorknob behind you clicks shut. The mirror goes dark. Then one more word appears. Stay. The air smells like travel. Not the clean scent of highways or morning coffee in paper cups, but the warm, frayed edge of vinyl seats and glove compartments filled with lint and long expired mints. You're back in the car. You don't remember getting here, but the engine is already on, idling, purring, like it knows the route better than you do. The dashboard reads 3:33. The cassette player glows softly, empty but expectant. Outside, the world glides past the windshield, but backward. Trees recede. Signs face the wrong way. Light bends against itself and unspools into mist. You glance down. Your feet aren't on the pedals. Your hands aren't on the wheel. But the car is moving. The seatbelt tightens slightly, like a parent's hand across your chest. You reach for the gear shift. There isn't one. Only the key in the ignition, still humming, still pressed forward in that quiet, permanent way. The radio clicks on, static. Then your voice, flat, calm. You've started the return sequence. You blink, and the rear view mirror shows not where you've been, but where you never left. Your room, the motel bed, the suitcase still open on the floor. You curled into the pillow, sleeping, breathing in slow loops, eyes twitching. You reach toward the mirror, touch it. It feels like water. The reflection ripples but doesn't break. The radio hums again, then plays a tone. Low, one note. And from the cassette deck, a slot you've never seen before opens. Inside, a card. Plastic. Embossed. It reads, Passenger. You take it. It's warm. Too warm. Pulsing. Like something with a pulse of its own. The glove box opens. Gloves inside. Not wool this time. Black leather. Crisp. New. Never worn. You reach for them. Slip your hands inside. They fit perfectly. Like they were made for you. Or made from you. You look up. The fog has grown denser. But the lines on the road are glowing now. Soft yellow arcs that stretch endlessly in reverse. The headlights flicker. Once. Twice. Then pulse. With the same rhythm as your breath. The car hums louder. You try to speak, but your mouth doesn't move. Only the tape player responds. Ejects a new cassette. Unlabeled. You insert it. It begins. Your voice again, but layered now, distorted. Two versions of you speaking over one another, one whispering, one narrating. If the engine hums in reverse, it's because the road is driving you back into what you avoided. A pause. You knew this might happen. You close your eyes. The hum climbs. Higher, not louder, but wider, like it's stretching across your ribs, into your spine. The glove box closes. The passenger seat creaks. You don't turn. You don't need to. Someone's there. Has always been there. A shape. Not heavy. Just enough weight to remind you. You speak again, only in your mind. Where are we going? The answer comes from the mirror. Your reflection no longer in the car. Standing now, on the road, facing you, holding a flashlight. Inward, not outward. Its beam flickers once, and the reflection mouths a single word. Back. You open your eyes, and the world outside the window is the same motel. Again, only older, more tired, roof sagging, neon sign blinking with less certainty. You slow, not with brakes, but with memory. The car stops. You never touched a thing. The engine hums. And behind you, on the seat, a note, folded. You open it. It reads, when the road drives, you ride. You step out. The fog waits. So does the motel. So does the next version of you inside. Already looping, already forgetting, already beginning again. The parking lot is quiet. Quieter than it should be for this hour. But then, 3:33 isn't really an hour, is it? Not here. It's a presence. A door wedged open in time's hinges, left to creak over and over until someone notices it's not wind but warning. You step out of the car. The fog rises up to meet you. It curls around your ankles like an old pet remembering your scent. You glance back at the vehicle. Still running. Still humming. Headlights cast twin cones of light that don't quite touch the motel. They stop short. Like the beams are afraid to make contact. The sign buzzes overhead. Vacancy flickers. One letter at a time. V. A. Gone. Back again. Your shadow follows slightly behind, stretched and smudged. You walk to the door of the office. The bell above it rings before you enter. Inside, empty. The guest book lies open. The pen floats above it, hovers, waits. You lean closer. Your name is already there, in your handwriting, signed at 3:33 a.m. But you haven't written it yet, not this time. The air smells like old soap and burnt coffee. You ring the desk bell. It echoes, once forward, once in reverse. The air answers with a whisper. You already checked in. You nod. Because of course you did. You don't remember doing it, but that never mattered before. The key is already in your hand. Room 30. You walk the hallway again. It has grown more narrow, more intimate. Like the walls have decided to confide in you now, pressing in with a weight that feels less like pressure and more like embrace. You reach the door. The number etched, not nailed. Deep scratches where the 0 barely clings to the 3. You insert the key. It turns too easily. You push the door open. And there you are. On the bed. Asleep. Facing away. Breathing evenly. Slowly. The blanket pulled up to your shoulder, the lamp casting a soft circle of amber around your body like a memory trying to keep you warm. You step inside, close the door. The latch clicks like a heartbeat. You don't want to wake yourself. You don't want to see your own face like this. You sit in the chair by the window. Listen. The tape recorder on the nightstand is paused. Ready, waiting. A new cassette inside. No label, just a smudge where one should be. The mirror over the bed has been covered with a towel pinned at the corners. You stand, remove it. The mirror is dark, not fogged, not reflective, just dark. You place your hand against the glass. It ripples. Inside, a hallway, empty, but the camera slowly pans. Left, left. A figure at the end, standing, wearing your coat, holding a key. Not room 30, room 31. The door beside this one, a room that doesn't exist. You whisper, I never left. The figure in the mirror lifts a hand, waves, then steps backward into fog, gone. You turn back to the bed. The version of you asleep is gone. The blanket still warm, still shaped, but empty. Only a note left behind. Written on motel stationery, it says, "You left yourself behind last night. We kept you here, just in case." A second line, "Next time, knock first." You look toward the door. The hallway waits again, slightly different. The numbers painted, not scratched. You fold the note, pocket it, pick up the cassette. You hear it hum. It hums your name, but softer than breath, as if it's trying not to wake the memory that's still curled beneath the sheets. The cassette in your hand is warm, warmer than it should be, like it's just finished speaking and the words haven't cooled yet. You don't play it, not yet. Instead, you slip it into your pocket and walk toward the wall where the mirror used to be. It's blank now, no glass, just smooth plaster that hums faintly under your touch, like it remembers the reflection and is trying to echo it back. A clock ticks somewhere nearby, not loudly, but with intention. Each tick precise, evenly spaced, like droplets hitting a basin that never overflows. You follow the sound. It leads to the dresser, a drawer half open. Inside, a wind-up clock. Ivory face, brass hands. The glass cracked diagonally, but the time's still readable. 3:33. You lift it. It ticks louder in your hand, but not rhythmically. You listen. 3 ticks fast, 1 slow, 2 normal. Pause. It's spelling something. You place the clock on the desk, press your ear to the wood. The ticks echo through the grain, and somewhere inside that stuttering rhythm, you hear your name. Not spoken, not written, felt. The hands begin to turn backward, slowly, then faster. The ticking falters, stutters, stops, then resumes. But now, different. You blink, and the room has changed. Same walls, same furniture, but older. Dust in the corners, wallpaper curling like burnt pages. The bed untouched. A suitcase open and empty. The mirror now uncovered again, but it doesn't reflect the room. It shows another. 1 door over, room 32. You see yourself in it, not sitting, not standing, just still, like a photograph captured mid-breath. Eyes open, unblinking. The mirror flickers, the image fades, and your reflection returns. But you're not alone in it. A second shape stands just behind your shoulder. Unmoving, you turn, nothing. The room is empty, except for the ticking, steady now, no longer chaotic, just calm, reassuring. You return to the cassette, slide it into the recorder on the desk, press play, static, then a voice, yours, but slowed, like sleep speaking through syrup. Each tick is an answer you didn't ask for. A long breath. Each one tries to stop you from remembering all at once. The ticking slows to match the voice. You lean in. The tape clicks off. But the ticking continues from inside your head, from behind your ears. You shake it off. Stand. The door to the hallway has vanished, replaced by a wall, and in its centre, a clock embedded. Its hands spin without pause, no numbers, just phrases. You read them as the hands pass. You woke too early. You arrived late. You never left. You asked for this. You don't remember yet. You remember too much. The hands pause, resting between. You're ready. You press your palm to the face of the clock. It pulses once. Then the wall recedes, revealing a hallway, lit only by a flickering chandelier that hums in Morse, the same rhythm as the ticking, same message. This way. You step through, and as you do, the ticking fades behind you. But the answers follow softly, always one tick behind. You don't remember packing it. You don't even remember bringing it inside. But there it is again, the suitcase, sitting at the foot of the bed, right where the ticking stopped, like it had been waiting for silence. It's different this time. New stitching across the top, a tag that wasn't there before, blank, until you blink. Then your name appears. But the handwriting isn't yours. It's smoother, more graceful, the kind of lettering used in dreams, legible only while sleeping, impossible to recall once you've woken. You kneel. The suitcase breathes. Once. Inward. A slow, deliberate inhalation that lifts the leather slightly, makes the zipper twitch like lungs beneath fabric. You don't flinch. You press your hand against the surface. Warm. It exhales. A sound not unlike the wind that wraps around empty houses at 3:33 a.m. You slowly unzip it, one tooth at a time, and inside, a mirror, not glass, polished metal, bent slightly, like it's been held too long by someone who wasn't sure if it should be buried or remembered. It doesn't reflect your face. Only fog, then fingers, your fingers, tapping from the inside. You pull it out, turn it. The back has a name engraved, not yours, but close. A version of you that's never stopped writing. You whisper the name aloud, and the mirror responds. A voice from the metal itself. I told you not to leave me zipped. You place it on the bed. The suitcase shifts again. You look inside. A cassette. No label. Wrapped in twine. You untie it. On the underside, written in fine red ink. Do not listen while awake. You hesitate. Place it beside the mirror. There's something else now. Beneath the lining. You lift the flap. A photograph of you sitting on this very bed, holding this very suitcase. Eyes closed. Mouth slightly open. Sleeping. But your reflection in the window is standing, watching. You flip the photo. Your handwriting this time, just a single word. Don't. You glance toward the mirror. The fog clears, shows the suitcase again. Only now, it's empty, still breathing, still waiting. You close it, zip it gently, and its size settles, like something full again, like it has taken something from you, something small, unnamed, unfelt. You sit, let your breath return to your body, but it comes back slower, one beat off, like a memory being played from tape, half rewound and slightly warped. You look at the mirror. It shows the hallway. Room 33 this time. The door open, dark inside. The reflection tilts, just slightly. Your reflection doesn't move, but the room behind you does. The walls pulse inward. The suitcase unzips itself, just slightly. And from inside, a sound. Not static, not wind. A heartbeat, not yours. Faster. You rise. Pick up the mirror. It's cold again, but no longer breathing. You pick up the cassette. It hums. Faint. Too faint to hear, but deep enough to feel. You slide it into your pocket, zip the suitcase shut, and carry it with you. This time, it doesn't resist. You leave the room. The hallway is shorter, brighter. A new door waits. And for the first time, no number, just a mirror nailed into the wood. You see yourself approach, suitcase in hand, eyes steady. The mirror fogs. And when it clears, your reflection is holding a suitcase. But it's already open, already empty, already remembering. The door with no number opens before you can knock. It breathes inward, inviting, but the air behind it isn't cold like you expected. It's still, warm in a way that has nothing to do with temperature. Warm like the pause between lightning and thunder. You step in. The room is small, circular. The floor curved. The walls bowed outward like you're standing inside a bubble. Or a globe. No corners, no mirrors. Just the slow, ambient pulse of white light drifting down from nowhere. It glows like snowfall lit by dusk. And it's snowing here. But there's no ceiling. The flakes rise from the floor, spiral slowly upward in perfect silence, then vanish mid-air, like steam remembering how to freeze. You breathe, and the air tastes like powdered sugar and firewood. The taste of your first snowfall, your last birthday cake, your grandmother's mittens. You step forward, the floor shifts slightly under your weight, soft, like felt or dream fabric. At the center of the room, a pedestal, round, and on it, a snow globe. But the glass is gone. The base is ornate, carved with images you almost recognize. Cars, keys, cassette tapes, clock hands twisted into knots. The globe's contents remain. Tiny house. Motel sign flickering. A car parked beside it. A miniature version of you, standing beside the door, hand raised, waving. You bend closer. The snow inside rises, slowly, until it surrounds the figure, then pauses, then falls. inward. The figure doesn't move, but you see its chest rise. It's breathing. You whisper, "Can it see me?" And the globe answers with fog. It spills over the pedestal, onto the floor, and within that fog, voices, whispering, stacked on top of one another like harmonies composed of memory. I left you here because I was afraid to finish the loop. It loops because I kept the snow inside too long. The globe broke. You kept dreaming anyway. The figure inside the globe looks up, right at you, eyes wide, mouth open. A whisper curls out, but you can't hear it, only feel it in the soles of your feet. The floor pulses. You step back. Snow still drifts upward. The globe begins to spin, slowly at first, then faster. The snow blurs. The figure fades, replaced by static. Tiny, contained. The pedestal creaks, and from beneath it, a drawer. You pull it open. Inside, a letter, unfolded, blank. But as your hands touch it, words emerge, ink pulled from memory instead of pen. It reads, "This was the dream you never finished. This was the room you never entered. This was the globe that cracked when you looked too closely." Beneath the letter, a key, tiny, glass, too fragile to use. You pocket it anyway. The snow stops, the room dims, the pedestal splits open, and where the globe stood, a mirror, oval, framed in brass. You lift it inside, the globe, still spinning, but now you see yourself inside it, tiny, still. Your reflection raises its hand, presses it against the glass. You do the same, and both of you whisper. The snow falls faster when you forget. The mirror fogs. You close your eyes, and the room breathes around you. A soft inhale, then a voice. The glass was never there, only memory. You're driving again. You don't remember starting the car, or opening the door, or walking back down the motel steps. But the wheel is in your hands. The gloves are gone. Your fingers are bare, and the road hums beneath the tires like it recognizes your touch. Outside, fog, soft as cotton left out in rain. The headlights cut shallow paths through the darkness, but there's no need to see far. You've driven this stretch before, more times than you've remembered, and even more times than you've forgotten. The sign appears ahead. You see it before you even turn the corner. Same bend, same slope in the gravel, same letters. You've been here. But there's new writing now, carved beneath it, a smaller hand, slanted, desperate. You never left. You keep going. The road doesn't argue. It loops gently, almost fondly. You feel it guide the car like a parent guiding a sleepwalker back to bed. Another sign. This one upside down. You're nearing the beginning. You don't slow. There's no beginning, only moments, only echoes, only places where the memory returns loud enough to drown out the noise. You glance in the rearview mirror. It shows you a house you don't live in anymore. Lit windows, a figure in the doorway, waving. You squint, it's you, but younger, hair damp, eyes wide. Not waving at you, but at someone just behind you. You turn, backseat empty, but warm. The seatbelt gently sways. You grip the wheel tighter. The clock on the dashboard flickers. 3:33. Still. Forever. You try to turn the radio on. It's already on. Static plays faintly. Then a voice fades in. Yours. This time not narrating, singing. A melody without shape. No lyrics, only breath in tune. You hum with it, not because you remember, but because it feels correct. The road curves again. Same tree, same split trunk. Sap still bleeding into the air like gold turned sorrow. You pass it, you always do. Another bend, and now the motel again. But earlier, you see yourself pulling in. Same car, same angle. You're watching yourself arrive. From within the loop, you don't stop, because the loop won't. You drive past the entrance. The sign doesn't flicker this time. It glows steady. Vacancy filled. A door opens. Room 1. Someone steps out. You, again, holding a suitcase, smiling, looking directly at your car, directly at you. You keep driving. The mirror fogs, but only in the middle, just enough to reveal one phrase. You've always been on this road. The voice on the radio whispers, even before there were tires, even before there was fog, you were already here. You don't respond. You don't need to. The car slows on its own. The road leans. Another curve. Another tree. You whisper, take me somewhere different. The fog laughs. Not cruelly, softly, like a lullaby remembering the wrong verse. And ahead, the same road, the same bend, but this time, one sign, brand new, unfinished, the letters still forming. You squint, watch them carve in real time. Just one more time. The road softens beneath your tires, as though the asphalt itself has grown tired of repetition. No bumps, no friction, just a smooth hum, like a breath stretched across hours. You don't remember how long you've been driving, only that it has always been 3:33, only that every bend feels familiar in a way that aches. You slow the car, not from decision, but instinct. The engine quiets. The fog doesn't lift. It never needed to. This time, there's no motel, no sign, no mirror. Only the edge of the road disappearing into a soft field of dark. You park, step out. The door closes behind you without a sound. And in the distance, a glow. Not electric, not fire. Just the shimmer of something remembered with too much care. You walk, Each footstep sinks slightly, like the ground is made of dream pillow and old memory. Ahead, something waits. It isn't a room. It isn't a figure. It's a feeling, folded, tucked neatly into the shape of a thought you never finished. You kneel. The fog presses gently against your shoulders. You breathe in. It breathes out. A mirror rests at your knees, small, cracked. It shows nothing. Then slowly, you, not as you are now, as you were. Eyes closed, face still, curled in a bed beneath motel sheets, in a room you'll never find again. And in the mirror's edge, your mouth moves. You hear it, faint, internal. Sleep holds the answer. The fog thickens, but it won't say it. You lie back, let the ground receive you. The fog curls around your ears. The headlights fade behind your eyes. You drift, no longer held by story or shape or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. You don't wake, not completely. Your eyes flutter once, but stay closed. The fog has followed you into sleep now, not clinging, not pressing, just draped gently across your thoughts like a curtain between breath and forgetting. You feel the bed beneath you. Or maybe it's the car seat, maybe the chair in the lobby, maybe the attic floor. Doesn't matter. They're all the same place now. Folded versions of the same resting point. Your arms are heavy, not in exhaustion, in relief, like they no longer have to carry anything. No keys, no cassettes, no suitcases full of forgotten names. The voice has gone quiet, not absent, just still, like it finally said what it needed to, and now waits for your permission to sleep too. You hear the soft tap of rain against a window that isn't real. You hear the shuffle of pages closing. You hear the mirror fogging one last time, and the silence behind it whispering, enough. No footsteps approach, no final loop to repeat, just stillness, just softness, just slow unraveling. You think of the road, but only vaguely, its curves no longer sharp, no longer leading back to themselves. Now, only a path fading gently into mist. You think of all the versions of you who carried you here, the ones who whispered, the ones who knocked, the ones who stayed behind. You thank them, and you let go. Of voice, of shape, of story. You drift, no longer held by story, or shape, or voice. Only sleep remains, and silence, waiting. End of script. Sweet dreams.